What's up, Minifigs? Welcome back to Hunter's Lego Room. Today, we're checking out set number 71821, Cole's Titan Dragon Mech. It has 1,055 pieces, a retail price of $100 in the United States, one exclusive minifigure, and it released back in June of 2024 as part of the Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2 wave of sets. It is a pretty imposing set here. We'll get into it a bit. It is pretty large. It stands over 15 inches tall. If you are including the giant wings, 19 inches tall. The sword itself is 16 inches tall. And you can see here that it completely dwarfs the Cole minifigure it's got. So we'll start with that minifigure. So our only minifigure, Cole, has a suit that isn't worn by any of the other ninja, nor will we likely ever see it with any of the ninja. None of them have any mechs like this. It only has a little bit of black in it. It's mostly orange and white, which I actually think looks pretty good. The printing on the torso is pretty nice, and a little bit of leg printing there. You've got a little shoulder armor piece. You've got two orange katanas. Overall, it's a pretty fantastic minifigure. You have a dual molded hood. We'll go ahead and remove the katanas just so you can see the torso a little bit better. There's a little bit of that gray in there as well. And I think overall it looks pretty great. I wish there was a bit more black to it, seeing how he's the black ninja, but overall, it's a pretty fantastic figure. Looking at the figure without the armor and the hood, this is just the standard Dragons Rising head piece they've been using for a lot of the ninja, where one side has the kind of mask look so you can't see their eyes, and the other side is just their typical expression they've been using. The back printing here, not much to say, very nice design, and it looks pretty good. And here is what this alternate face looks like with the hood framed up. Overall, it's a pretty good minifigure. I like that they didn't include any other minifigures or side builds, because it means they were able to put everything into this build. So just looking at the mech to start out, it's got a pretty nice color scheme with the white, gray, orange, black, and a bit of gold sprinkled throughout it. It's very solidly built. You don't really have to worry about it falling apart at all. We'll start at it from the bottom and work our way to the top here. Your ankles have a little bit of an ankle guard there, and you have some rubber pieces in the bottom of the feet just so it can help stand it up and it won't slip or fall easily. You have ball joints here in the ankles, so that way they can be posed forward and back, as well as some pistons in the back to actually help it kind of hold its shape. When you do move it, the weight won't let it fall as easily. You do have posability in the knees, where it can be bent about 90 degrees bent, which is pretty shocking. I mean, it's actually the biggest Ninjago mech they've ever made, and it's pretty impressive what they were able to get accomplished with all these pieces. Moving up from the knees, you have your kind of thigh area into the waist here, and there's posability here as well. That can be rotated a full 360 degrees. Two stickers right there. There's only a handful of stickers in the set, which you can kind of see most of them from here, but I'll point them out a little bit as we go along. Looking at it a bit from the back, you have some more look. It's not like tiled off or anything around the back, but I don't think it needs to be. You're going to really just be looking at this thing from the front. Two joints here, or two ratcheted pieces here, so that way the legs can be splayed out, forward and back. You get a lot of maneuverability with those pieces. It's a lot. I'm going to be saying that a lot. I try not to, but it's impressive what they were able to do. Moving up here into the torso, it can be rotated a full 360 degrees around the waist here. Around the back, we're going to take off this giant kind of wing pack here because it really gets in the way. That is just in there with two Technic holes right there around the back, and the mech doesn't look bad without them. Like, they do a good job making it look good without that. Going up higher into the mech here, you've got some pretty heavily built shoulders here, but you've got stickers along the shoulders, the arms, hands, and the core there. Looking here in the center is where your pilot sits. You have a little leg holder piece as well as some studs down there, but you don't really need to use the studs. You can just kind of slot the minifigure in. You'll take your Cole minifigure here, sit him down, and I forgot about this when I was first putting him in, but I'll fix it in a second. The minifigure's arms do need to be down at his side to fit into the cockpit. If they're out like that, he doesn't really slide in as easily. But honestly, it looks pretty good. You almost can't even tell he's there once you put the head down. And my only issue with this set, I talk about it all the time, there's nowhere to put his katanas. They give him the 2 orange translucent katanas, and there's nowhere for him. The head folds down on 2 joints here, and it looks pretty good, honestly. It's a very nice looking head. The arms, obviously a lot of posability in the shoulders. The forearm there can twist, and actually the elbow is double jointed, so you can get it to fold all the way up and close his arm, which I did not expect that. I don't know, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen a mech with that level of posability just in the elbow. Ball joint on the wrist, as well as a few posable fingers, and each hand is identical. Sometimes they change up the hands from one side to another, but each hand has a hole, or a Technic pin, I should say, that goes with the sword, because the sword has a handful of Technic holes there, so that way you can put the hand on the sword, and you can actually have it being held with 2 hands or just with 1. The sword, also, my other issue I totally forgot about, is that the sword did come out of the box slightly bent, so it just looks a little off, but it's still pretty nice. You have your wing pack here in the back. I don't really know what to call it. They call it dragon wings on the official set, but the wings themselves can fold front and back, and each individual wing can be folded on its own individual joints. But again, that just slots in there in the back. It's a little tough to do from behind the camera, but it looks pretty great, obviously. I mean, you can see what it looks like. There is a lot of posability here with this set. Obviously, that's the main thing people are going to be thinking about when they get this set. Got it here, holding his sword above his head. I got it into a bit of a walking stance here. Granted, I did not spend enough time posing this set around and moving it to try to get it into all kind of different stances. Somebody like Jang Bricks, he gets it into a lot of poses. His video on this set is really, really nice. But just the fact that you can do all of this with this set just shows like a dedication to these kind of sets. So this set has 1,055 pieces, a retail price of $100, 1 exclusive minifigure, and the largest and probably most posable Ninjago mech of them all. Over 15 inches in height in the mech itself, including the dragon wings. It's about 19 inches tall. A ginormous 2-handed sword. It is a fantastic set. I will admit that I'm not a huge mech guy. I don't really buy a ton of the mechs, and honestly, this one surprised me with how much you could do with it. It is very impressive. I'm happy I got it. It's not something that is going to be my favorite set of the wave. That would definitely be the Tournament Temple City, which you can check out my review on. But just with how much you can do with this set, I am very impressed. And I'm happy I bought it just to see all that it can do, because I would never expect to see a set like this built up like this. And if you are a fan of Cole, if you're a fan of the Ninjago mechs, this one is easy to say yes to. It is unbelievable what they were able to do with it. Again, if you're a fan of mechs, this set is probably the best one they've ever made. I would say check it out. Thank you to everyone that's made it this far in the video. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for checking out Hunter's Lego Room. I'll see you guys in the next video.